Movie quote madness. So my roommate Dan has always been a bit of a character. You know the type, owns 3 different Batman t-shirts, quotes The Office unprompted, that sort of thing. It never really bothered me, except for the time he tried to convince our landlord that this is not the roommate you're looking for when I forgot to pay rent. But lately, Dan's taken his movie quote obsession to a whole new level. He's decided to communicate entirely in movie quotes. I figured it would last a day, maybe 2, but by dinner he was still at it, giving me "Are you talking to me?" when I asked him to pass the salt. Things got weird when we decided to order pizza. I told him to call in the order, since the last time I did it I ended up with pineapple on everything. Dan nodded solemnly, picked up the phone, and said, "May the force be with pepperoni." I heard silence on the other end, followed by a tentative, excuse me? Dan, undeterred, went full Star Wars. "I find your lack of mushrooms disturbing." At that point, the pizza guy hung up, which I can't really blame him for. I asked Dan what the hell that was, and he just grinned and said, "I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse, extra cheese." At this point, our friends started coming over to watch the game, but Dan wouldn't break character. Every time someone knocked, he'd open the door and dramatically announce, "You can't handle the truth." When someone spilt their drink, he solemnly declared, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." I had to explain to everyone that this was just Dan's thing now, which did not make me look like a well-adjusted adult. Halfway through the night, my friend just tried to get him to say something normal by offering him $20, and Dan just stared at her and whispered, "Show me the money." By the time the pizza finally arrived, ordered online, thank God, Dan greeted the delivery guy with, "Here's looking at you, kid," and tried to tip him with Monopoly money, saying, "In this house, we accept only galactic credits." The poor guy just left the pizza and ran. I realized then that Dan wasn't just quoting movies, he was living in a completely different script. And that's when it hit me, after all this drama, the real delivery we needed was a script rewrite, because this movie night had definitely jumped the shark.